Hi, everybody. This is Ken Corbin, and once again, welcome to another edition of the Manufactured Home Show. This is the program where I have the opportunity to interview the absolute best of the best, including lenders, manufacturers, suppliers, retailers, and today, a very, very special guest, Lance Latham of the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. And as always, if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for future programs, drop me an email. It's ken@callkencorbin.com. And for a full list of all the programs in this series, you can go to learnmh.com, and there's a link that's beginning to get downloaded with all the shows. You can also go to callkencorbin.com. That's my personal website. There's a little link up in the top right-hand corner that you can hit that says Manufactured Home Show, and they're all there. And of course, my business Facebook page, Ken Corbin Speaker. But with that, today we bring Lance Latham, who graduated from the University of Alabama in 2006, where he double majored in history and political science, and then again in 2008 with a master's degree in communication studies. During this time, he taught public speaking at the university as an adjunct professor and volunteered on political campaigns throughout the state. In 2008, Lance became the deputy campaign finance director for the Bobby Bright for Congress campaign, which went on to be ranked as one of the national press's 5 most competitive congressional campaigns in America that year. And then following the Bright campaign, Lance moved to Montgomery, where he worked as a governmental affairs and political consultant for numerous campaigns, organizations, and businesses. And then from 2012 to 2017, Lance served as the chief of staff for Representative Craig Ford, the minority leader in the Alabama House of Representatives. Finally, in 2017, Lance joined the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association as deputy director, where his responsibilities included lobbying the state legislature and managing the association's public relations and social media operations. The great news is that in March, of this year, Lance was chosen to be the next executive director of the association there in Alabama. He's also the owner of Latham Communications, which is a consulting firm based in Montgomery, Alabama. His areas of expertise include communications, government regulations, organizational and business consulting, and political campaign management. With that, guys, I welcome my dear friend and colleague, Mr. Lance Latham. Lance, so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I want to start off by mentioning this is year number 2 that I've had the distinct pleasure of working with you and Doris Heydrich and the association and everyone involved in Alabama and the continuing education programs that you're offering, all of the salespeople and staff. And I commend you and the association for the incredible work that you guys have done, not only on that state level, but on a regional level, because I know you're highly involved, as an example, with the annual Tunica show, and then you're also heavily involved with the MHI and all of the national programs. So thank you, Lance, for everything that you guys have done for us on a state, local, national, regional level.
Well, thank you, Ken. It's been an honor and privilege working with you, and you've really done such great stuff. And I know we may get to it a little bit later, but the class we did a few weeks ago, or I guess it's been a couple of months now, to help people with this COVID thing kind of became a catalyst that went on to a lot of other states as well, I think. And so we're real proud of what we've done with education, proud to have worked with you on most of that. So.
Well, thank you so much. Let's start with, we talked about the COVID. That continues to be a problem, not only for our national and on a national basis, but on an economic basis. And it's likely going to continue to restrict business the way that you and I and all the viewers and listeners today have done business in the past. So what do you see as some of the changes perhaps that we all need to make now and in the future with this crisis upon us?
Sure. Well, I think one of the big areas where you're seeing its impact has been within the manufacturing plants, because if one of their employees gets sick, then they got to shut down for a day or two to go in and sterilize everything. And it creates a holdup that's any part of the process along the chain there can cause problems further down the line. But thankfully, we've had some cases of that we've had to deal with, but it has not become by any means catastrophic or anything like that. It's still things are still flowing fairly smoothly. And in fact, we've actually April and May, we had real good numbers on installations here in Alabama. We were actually doing quite well as an industry here in Alabama, because with the low interest rates and everybody getting that stimulus check, and combined with the fact that a lot of our customer base here in Alabama was working in jobs that are considered essential. So they never really had to work remotely, a lot of our customers. So we had some good months here with sales, and I think with July, with tax season, people getting refunds and things, that could lead to a good July and August as well. But we are having those issues some here and there in the plants. So the steps we're having to take there to keep our employees safe, to make sure they've got that personal protective equipment, or PPEs as we hear in the news, hear them referred to in the news. Making sure we got plenty of hand sanitizers and people given breaks in time to be able to wash their hands, and all the things that the manufacturers are doing. That's something that I think is likely to stay, at least certainly until we get a vaccine for the coronavirus, and possibly beyond as well. For our communities and for our retailers, I think, a lot of them are still able to do business. And like I said, they've had good sales for the last few months. But there's still steps there that we need to be taking. Keeping hand sanitizer and all the model homes, for example, I think is a good thing that a lot of people are doing as much as you can, trying to have customers come in by appointment so you can kind of limit the number of people in there and social distance a little better. A big thing, I think, is that going more and more to paperless, which we were, a lot of places were already doing anyway before this. And I think that this has sped some of that up, because nobody wants to touch a pen that 20 or 30 other people have already been writing with that day. So doing things digitally and all makes it quicker, makes it easier, and also keeps it now safer as well. So those are all things I think that we'll see coming. Same for community owners who are filling out applications. I think more and more of that's going to go digital as well for the same reasons. So I think those are things that are likely to stay. And I'm sure there's other innovations that people are doing that I haven't heard about yet, but I think there's a lot of.
Let me ask you this. A lot of your background is in obviously communications and in marketing. So how do you think our industry and associations like the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association, how should we be marketing our product and then subsequently growing our customer base?
I think so. Our strategy here with the association is to try and put out as much as we can pictures of the homes and steer customers and potential sales leads back to our retail members. And so as an association, that's kind of our tactic, our strategy there. And so I really think the homes sell themselves if you let people see them. And these days, most people are shopping online before they step inside the lot. Word of mouth is still important. People stopping by because they happen to see a good looking home as they were driving by and decide to turn around and go back in. That's still important. But more and more, you're seeing people shop for things online, everything, and that includes manufactured homes. So you got to have a good presence, and you got to be marketing out there for those things or in those ways. Social media is huge, but the homes are so beautiful that if you can put the pictures out there, you get a lot of comments. If you look at our ads and the posts we make, we'll just have comment after comment after comment of people saying how beautiful they are and wanting to know where they can find it, or how much it costs, or who they can talk to about it. And that becomes an opportunity for us, like I said, to steer them back to one of our retailers and to our Find a Retailer or Find a Community page on our website. And we know from our statistics that when people go to that page, they stay. They don't just like click on it and then click out of it. They're looking for somebody. So showing people the homes is the best way still to market it. And so that's our primary strategy. And I'm actually, one of my most proud moments was a few weeks ago. We had a person actually accuse us of false advertising because the home looked so good they didn't believe it was a manufactured home, and that made my day, made my week. So I love that kind of thing, and that's what we're trying to do. And so you got to be on internet. You got to be on Instagram and on Facebook. You can do a lot with paid advertising. I recommend it, but on those medium, you can do it for not a lot of money. We spend about $500 or so a month on Google AdWords, and we'll get over 1 million impressions just from that in a state of only about 4.8 million people. So that's a significant percentage of them. And then another good tool is YouTube for video ads. You can do what's called pre-roll ads. It's those little advertisements you have to you watch before you get to see the video you were originally wanting to see, and people can skip them after 5 to 7 seconds. So you got to get the main point of your message in that 5 seconds. But if you can do it, that's a great way to reach a lot of people, especially right now with more and more people working remotely and spending more time on those mediums. So that's kind of our strategy and what I recommend.
Well, and I've seen the results, obviously, of what you've done there in the entire Southeast in your messaging, not only about the homes, but how it relates to storm safety and then maybe addressing misconceptions about manufactured homes, tornadoes, severe weather. And I think many of the listeners and viewers today, as well as some of the other state associations, would be interested in knowing what you've done to inform people more about manufactured housing in this area.
Sure. And that is a big issue for us here in Alabama because we do get a lot of tornadoes. Of course, the Beauregard tornado from last year got national attention. We had 23 people who unfortunately died in that terrible storm. 19 of them were in a manufactured home, but 80% of the homes in that area, if I remember correctly, were manufactured homes. So unfortunately, just by virtue of us being the majority of homes there, naturally, a lot of the deaths were in those storms. And that's something that sometimes the studies and things that people cite, there's issues with them that I find, and that's one of them, is that they don't distinguish like what's the ratio of manufactured homes to site-built homes in the area. So there's a lot of issues there, but that's a long-term ongoing thing with that. What we can do right now that we're trying to do is really, we're kind of marketing 3 different messages. One is letting people know what our anchoring systems do to try and keep homes safe and how safe they can be. 2 is letting people know that while a Wind Zone Home is a very safe home, if you are interested, if you have the resources, you do have the option of upgrading to a Wind Zone 2 or 3 or purchasing additional anchors. And a lot of people aren't aware that you can customize your anchoring just like you can customize your countertops or your paint colors. By all means, we don't want people to get the wrong idea and think that a Wind Zone Home 1 isn't safe, because they are, but we want them to know that if that's something you're interested in, that is an option. But by far, our biggest message that we're really trying to push is reminding people to get their anchoring systems inspected every 5 to 10 years, because just like your furnace goes out after a while, your air conditioner goes out after a while, your roof has to be replaced after a while in any kind of home. For a manufactured home, your anchoring systems can have problems. You can get rust. You can get bolts that get loosened. You can lose tension in your straps. The ground can erode if it's not settled properly, or if it has settled differently, it can erode around the anchors in the ground, and then you got to look at that. So we encourage people to get those inspected routinely and have as safe a home as possible. And at the same time, we're trying to show people in the media and elsewhere that we are committed to making sure our customers are as safe as possible. And these are the ways in which we're doing that. But we have very safe homes. We're very proud of the homes and stand by them. And so we're just trying to remind people of all these different measures that keep them safe, of things they can do to keep themselves safer. And that's really a big part of our messaging there.
Well, and speaking of installations, I recall one of the recent programs that I did in Alabama. And I should let everybody know, these classes are not just my 3.5 hour classes in the morning. It's a full day seminar that not only talks about sales, but also talks a little bit about installation and the various laws that we need to abide by when we're selling homes. But a big portion of that has to do with what you've done on an active role in working with the community colleges there in the state of Alabama, and then creating training programs for the installation of manufactured homes. Maybe you could take a moment and kind of share with everybody, how it came about, what the ideas were, where it's heading, and what continuing collaboration you anticipate we can do with community colleges across the United States.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, we found from talking with our SAA and talking with some of our members that we kind of have a twofold problem when it comes to installations and the installer portion of our industry here. One is quantity. We've got a lot of installers who are getting near the retirement age and a lot of younger people who are not necessarily choosing that profession or aren't aware that it's there. So one thought was if we had a program, a certificate program in the community college system that students who are looking for something to do for a living, who might not be aware that this option's out there, can find that and maybe get some younger people into the industry as well. The other problem is while we don't, when we do have them, about 70% of them get traced back, according to our SAA, to the installation process. Mostly it has to do with the ground not being set properly before everything's in, but it's still an issue. So we wanted to address that as well and make sure that the guys who are getting into the industry and all, that they are up to date on the newest methods and techniques and all that as well. So we partnered with Clayton and some of the other manufacturers, as well as our SAA and the community college system, and worked to create what became a 10-week training program that ran last fall. And that program was a big success. I think we had about 12 students who went through it, which was our goal, and a 10 to 12. I can't remember exactly right off now, but it was a good class. It was something we learned a lot from. We were getting ready to come back this summer with another one, do kind of a shorter class, because we have different segments of the industry that we're trying to tailor it to. Some of it is, of course, obviously the installers out in the field putting the homes together, but a lot of retailers need to know some things about installation, because if they don't, then the home gets installed improperly. That customer blames the retailer, not the installer, because the retailer's the guy that sold them the home or the woman that sold them the home. So retailers need to know a little something about installation. So we wanted to kind of tailor some maybe just for them. And then for people in the plants who are having to design the home and that sort of thing, we wanted them to have an option as well. So we kind of settled on this idea of doing like a boot camp type class, much shorter, and can tailor some of them towards the people actually installing the home and some more towards retailers. And then, of course, COVID-19 happened and all that kind of got delayed, and we're hoping to pick back up with it in the fall. But it has been successful. We also want to take it on the road. Right now, it's only in one school up in Bevel State Community College in Jasper area, which is near where a lot of our plants are. But, of course, we have residents all over the state, and we have installers all over the state. So we wanted to try and take this program on the road and train people in different areas. So we've been working a lot with the community college system there to do that as well. But it's been a very good experience. A lot of the manufacturers got together system to help give them the materials they needed to train these installers. So it really was a collaborative effort from everybody involved, and so we're real proud of that as well. It's been a big part, and we're hoping to expand beyond just installations as well, and help do other programs to send people into the plants with some additional training. Getting truck drivers who can move the homes. That requires some training, and in our state we need guys with the CDL regardless of what they're transporting, but especially manufactured homes, because it is a little bit of a different product versus a traditional 18-wheeler or semi-truck that you're moving. So we've got a lot of different things we're looking to branch out in and help promote through the community college system, but we've had a lot of success with it, and we're excited about where it's going in the future.
Well, I know this has been a very exciting year for you, because
Yeah.
obviously this past March it's been announced that you're becoming the new executive director there in Alabama. But with your background in education, communication, and so forth, maybe you could share with everybody some of your ideas and your vision as to what you see can be done to help not only inform the public more about manufactured housing, but to help increase sales overall.
Sure. Well, and as deputy director, a lot of my emphasis or my responsibilities have been the political lobbying work and then the marketing and communications work that we do. As executive director, obviously now I'll be kind of overseeing everything. I still intend to lead on the political stuff and on the marketing stuff, but I kind of see my role as like putting together a puzzle and seeing how the different pieces fit. And I kind of see for us 5 different pieces. We have, education, which I'd like to expand on what we're doing there, to help our members learn more things that can help them sell more homes. Obviously, political advocacy, our marketing advocacy. I'd like to see us do more with research. I'd love to see us at some point be able to do maybe some customer surveys, like focus groups, that sort of thing, to get data, not just on what people are looking for in a home, because we kind of know what they're buying, but if they didn't pick a home or choose one of our homes, why not? And what made them choose to buy from one person versus another? What social media are they using? What websites do they go to, so we can better hone our marketing? That's something we'd like to be able to get for our members. We're working on doing a economic impact study for our industry. So a lot we're wanting to do with education, and then just member services in general, kind of an open area that we're looking to expand in. But with communications, we work with a company called 24 Communications. They're our marketing firm here. They have a lot of different clients in the state, but they've done a great job with us, helped us design our website. I know manufacturedhomes.com does a great job as well with a similar kind of work, doing that kind of thing, and definitely think all those folks are worth the money and the investment if you have the resources to do it. But our strategy will continue to be, as far as communications goes, honing in our messaging on where the customers are, trying to reach out, get some of those younger customers who may not have thought about a manufactured home before, but let them see how nice they are, and they may change their minds. And just trying to push that as much as we can and steer them back towards our members. But with all these things, all 5 of these categories, all of it is focused on, first and foremost, how do we help our members sell more homes? Because at the end of the day, that's the reason why you join an association. That's our purpose of being. So everything we do is kind of is focused on that, and all of it, and some of those things overlap industry research and all that can inform education, can inform the political advocacy. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. But that's kind of where we're pushing, and we're pushing on that wide front. So, I'm a political campaign guy, so I think of it in those terms. So we've got these different categories, but all of it's moving in that direction with that goal in mind. And so that's kind of my vision, and that's how I want to take things forward, and pick up with the great work that our current executive director, Doris Heydrich, has done, and pick up the ball where she's leaving it off, and get it across the goal line. So,
well, I'll tell you, it's really exciting to see the vision that you have for that incredible organization and its members. And I can tell everybody it's an extremely active association. And that makes it a wonderful part to be a member of. And we hope you continued success. But speaking of such, I'm sure there's people who are going to want to say, well, this Lance Latham, he sounds like a great guy. How do we get a hold of Lance Latham if we have any questions or inquiries?
Sure. Well, our website is alamha.org, and you can find out a lot of our stuff there. And then my email address is just Latham, Latham, at alamha.org. And those are the best ways to find me, is through our website or through emailing me would be the best way. That's where I'm most easily found.
Well, Lance, I want to thank you